What is going down, YouTube? It is your boy Danny G, TV in the house. The Warriors dropped Game 2 of the Sacramento Kings and go down 2-0 in the series, with the series shifting down Interstate 80 from Sacramento to San Francisco for Game 3. And I'm going to make no mistake about it. The Kings, they were definitely the better team in Game 2. Game 1 was a complete bloodbath between both teams. And that was a game that either team could have won. But Game 2, the Kings definitely deserved that game 100%. De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, the former Warrior Harrison Barnes was just dropping dunks and dunks on his former team. The Kings definitely deserved to win that game. It looked in the second quarter, and then especially in the third quarter, like they were just going to absolutely take the game away. But the Warriors, of course, did come back, and they found themselves down by 4, 91-87, with about 7 minutes left to go. And then the big play between Sabonis and Draymond happens. Sabonis grabs Draymond's leg, and in response, well, at least this is what it looked like in real time, Draymond absolutely just stomped on his chest. And watching it in real time, I was like, Draymond, that play was that's horseshit. Like, you cannot be doing that. He definitely deserved to be ejected in that moment. And yeah, I still think he deserved to be ejected from that game because he definitely put more force than he needed to on Sabonis' chest. However, Sabonis did grab his leg first, initiating it. And Draymond's foot did need to land somewhere, so of course that was Sabonis' chest, because that's just where it was. However, Draymond definitely, I would say, put some more force on his chest. And now, I don't think that he meant to just stomp on him like it outright looked like, but he definitely could have done more to prevent it from looking as bad as it did. So he definitely deserved to be ejected from the game, I think, and that definitely should have been either a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2. Of course, it ended up being a flagrant 2, which is understandable. And Sabonis, of course, got a flagrant 1 and got a technical foul on that. But Draymond Green, a few hours ago, was announced, despite it being reported by Shams in the tweet earlier today, that he likely would not be suspended. He ends up breaking the news that he ended up being suspended for Game 3, which to me came as a surprise. A lot of people on the Kings side were hoping for it and were expecting it, and a lot of people on the Warriors side just did not expect it to happen. And hey, I did not expect it to happen either, because of the fact that Sabonis initiated the whole thing happening in the first place. But again, it did not look pretty, and thinking about it, I'm actually not really surprised that Draymond was suspended just because of how it looked. But the thing that I do not like at all is the fact that the statement from the NBA, the statement from Adam Silver, literally fucking says that the main reason why he's being suspended for that is because of his prior incidents, which is absolute bullshit. Because when the Warriors are down 2-0 by the Sacramento Kings, I'm sorry, but you're basically giving them the series by suspending them for Game 3. Because the Kings, in my opinion, like a full-strength Warriors and Kings matchup could go to 7 games. The NBA is fucking robbing their fans of an incredible series by suspending Draymond for Game 3. That's just my opinion. Now, Draymond, was he in the right for doing that? And not only for that, but for how he reacted with the Kings crowd, cussing him out on live TV. Like, hey, I personally have no problem with that, but I mean, if anything, Draymond should know better not to do that, because just that in itself could have gotten him suspended if he wasn't suspended for the stomping on the chest thing with Sabonis. So, and I also wish Draymond would have had some remorse for having that happen, because of the fact that he got ejected, which is another reason why that should not have happened, because the Warriors could have still won Game 2, despite the fact that they were not the better team in that game, because they were only down by 4 points when that incident happened. They were still in the game, and hey, even without Draymond, they still managed to be in the game until the very, very end. But I wish Draymond would show some more remorse and state that, hey, I messed up, I cost my team this game potentially. And the fact that he's suspended for Game 3, I hope that he doesn't come on his podcast and not say that he that he fucked up, and because of the fact that he's not going to play in Game 3, especially if the Warriors lose Game 3 and then either lose Game 4 or get swept, or only win Game 4 and then lose it in 5. That's all going to come back to Draymond. So in that case, I wish Draymond would take more responsibility. But still, suspending him for Game 3, complete bullshit move by the NBA. And that's just my opinion. But A-Bomb, hey, I liked your video, dude. And I understand how big this is for Sacramento and all their long-suffering fans. I'm good friends with JD on here. I remember when 11 years ago, when it looked like the Kings were absolutely going to move to, actually, I think it was Anaheim at first that there were rumors they were going to move to, which was so fucking stupid, because why would you have 3 teams in the LA market? Like, don't even get me started on that. And then in 2012, I believe it was, that's when the whole Seattle thing came about. Now, Seattle, the Kings playing in Seattle, I remember actually, I streamed on my phone, Grant Napier on Sacramento radio when that whole story was broke, and I remember him interviewing someone from Seattle that was completely against the idea of the Kings moving there, because despite the fact that Seattle wanted another team after losing the Seattle Supersonics, they did not want to steal a team from Sacramento or from any other city in that regard, and that was really interesting. I did not know that, actually, A-Bomb, that the fans rioted in New York against that. That's wow. I knew. Hey, trust me, I know how passionate the Kings fans are, but I did not expect that they actually went that route. But hey, props to them. I'm glad the Kings are still in Sacramento. That makes for a great Northern California rivalry. It sure does. Like the fact that the Warriors and Kings are playing each other in the NBA playoffs, I mean, that's just awesome for Northern California. That's the closest you'll get to there being a Bay Bridge series with the Giants and A's for any other sport, or for the Niners and Raiders having a Bay Bridge series with them moving to Vegas. It might not be the Bay Area, but Sacramento and San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and the whole Bay Area, hey, that's a great Northern California rivalry. Absolutely. Now, the only thing that I disagree with that you said in your video, because I almost agree with everything that you said in your video, except the fact that you tried to claim that there were no Warrior fans before 2015. Hey, if you watch any game at Oracle Arena when the Warriors sucked, now the first year that I, followed sports in general, followed the NBA, like the Warriors, they had it was 2007, the 2006-2007 season. That was when they had upset the Dallas Mavericks while they were the number 8 seed, with the Mavericks being the 1 seed. You would have thought it was the fucking NBA Finals with how loud it was at Oracle Arena. And Golden One Center, the whole light the beam, all that actually reminds me a lot of 2007 with the Warriors and their fans. So, A-Bomb, that's the only thing that I disagree with what you said in that video, is the Warrior fans have always been passionate. Now, are there bandwagon fans in Northern California? Of course. But the main bandwagon Warrior fans during all those days with Steph, Clay, KD, when the Warriors were absolutely dominant and they basically couldn't lose any games, those days, those were fans from all over the country. And I'll even use some bandwagon examples for my team. Living in Arizona, because I moved to here when I was 7, I maybe was able to get one Baron Davis jersey when I was 10 during the We Believe era. It took until they had at least made the playoffs in 2013 for me to even see anything Warriors related in a sports store that almost had gears for every team in every sport. There was nothing Warriors related on the shelf there out of the Bay Area. So the Warriors were an absolute irrelevant franchise. But their fans were always passionate, and it's a lot like the Kings. The Kings, for most of the last 17 years, because they hadn't made the playoffs since 2006, and most of these last 17 years, yes, they've had a few decent years, they've mostly been completely irrelevant. So, A-Bomb, don't give me that shit. I know that the Warrior fans have always been passionate, just like the Kings fans have. But, hey, I'm glad we can get a little bit of a mini hate series going with this. Because, I mean, I'm going to be honest, like, the Kings are definitely the better team, and especially with Draymond being suspended, I think it is more likely the Kings will win this series at this point, just to be completely honest. But I'm hoping the Warriors can pull this series off somehow, and I'm hoping it can go to, I mean, I would prefer to somehow win it in 6, but I'm hoping for this series to go to 7 games. Like, I'm hoping that we can get Game 3, and then Draymond will be back for Game 4. We'll get Game 4, and this series could likely go to 7 games. And so the fact that Draymond got ejected, hey, that did cost the Warriors. I mean, it didn't. I don't want to say it cost the Warriors the game because the Kings probably would have came away with the victory in Game 2. But the Warriors, would having Draymond on the floor in those last 7 minutes with his defense, could have been a different outcome. So it's bullshit that Draymond got suspended, but I still wish Draymond would take more responsibility for his actions and just please try to control his temper a little bit, because we can't still keep having him get ejected from playoff series. But anyway, that's all I got. Danny G is out. Peace.